Good afternoon, and welcome to the October 14th, 2021 hearing of the Seminole County, Florida Special Magistrate. Before we begin, I'd like to advise everyone about the procedures that govern appearances before the Special Magistrate. This meeting is open to the public under Florida's Government in the Sunshine Law. Therefore, every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence or argument to offer. The ethics law of the state of Florida requires that the county keep track of every person who appears before an official hearing officer of the county, whether in an effort to influence the special magistrate's decision-making or to encourage the passage, defeat, or modification of any proposal or recommendation of the special magistrate. In order to implement the state law, it is required that every person who appears before the special magistrate be registered with the clerk to my left. The cases where the respondent are present and signed in will be heard first. You will be sworn in or affirmed by the clerk. Once all cases where the respondents are present have been heard, I will return to hear the remaining cases as they appear on the agenda. When your case is called, please be seated at the table reserved for the respondents, which is this blue table over here. In that the county has the burden of proving a violation exists, the county will present their case first, and then the respondents will be allowed to present their case. Additionally, please limit your comments to only relevant information relating to the case. Each party may question witnesses offered on behalf of the other party. Additionally, staff members may question those appearing before the special magistrate. The special magistrate will then make the decision based upon the evidence and testimony as presented by both parties. All proceedings before the special magistrate are electronically recorded. Please speak directly into the microphone at the center of the table and state your name clearly before presenting your case. Should you need assistance due to a hearing impairment or a language barrier, please inform the clerk upon registration. To avoid interference with cases being presented to the special magistrate, all cell phones and other electronic devices are to be turned off or silenced while inside the chambers. Thank you for your cooperation.
If you're going to be testifying, would you please stand and raise your right hand so I can swear you in? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
The first case this afternoon will be case 2037 CESM, respondent Yost Land Trust, REWMC, LLC. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Hello. We'll let the county start, and then you'll have an opportunity next, okay?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Tom Haley with the Seminole County Building Division presenting. This is case 2037 CESM, Yost Land Trust Incorporated. The address is 117 Mohawk Lane, Altamont Springs. Violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Unpermitted construction of a mobile home, RV, mobile home / RV, shed, screen room, awning, and fence.
Yes.
I don't know. Technical difficulties?
Technical difficulties.
I guess. If you have a copy of the packet, we can give it. Oh, you already have given it to the respondent, right?
Yes, and we can put it on the,
So if you want to go
put it
through
on the
it,
document camera as well.
yeah. That works. Come on. There you go.
Zoomed in.
Come on.
The initial inspection was done 11/14 of 19 with a notice issued to the respondent. The executive order suspending the enforcement because of COVID was 3/17/20 to 3/2/21. Various follow-up visits and follow-up site inspections, and also inspections on the computer checking for permits. The results of the inspections and verification on the computer was that there was no permits and the violation remains on the property. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website page that shows the respondent is in fact a property owner. Basically, we have it's either I wasn't there on the initial inspection, but it's either an RV that they're converting or building without a permit. There's a shed in the back as well as a privacy fence.
Just if we can stick at that for 1 second.
Sure.
Can you just point to which ones are unpermitted, or is it all of that?
The brown, the white, the shed, and the fence.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's either they were building a mobile manufactured home on site, or it's an RV that they're enclosing and siding. I can't really tell. I didn't do the initial inspection, but it still wouldn't require a permit.
Okay, thank you.
This is a copy of unpermitted trailer, which is the sheriff's office, which is not, that's a travel trailer unless it's permanently set down. It's not a violation for us, but it would be possibly for the sheriff's office, code enforcement. This is another view shot of the work being going on as it was progressing. Yet another picture of the same thing, closer up, different time. And there's a back deck on the back of the structure being constructed or sited. Another picture of it. And the screen room off in the corner you can see as well.
Is there plumbing and electric to these structures?
Not been in,
Okay.
sorry, not been inside them, so I don't know.
Okay.
Don't. That's another view from the street. And another view over top of the fence. This is a copy out of our Navaline permitting system showing that no permits were obtained for any of the work in the violation. This is a copy of Chapter 40, Appendix A, which is the code that he's in their violation of. Recommendation, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2037 CESM, it is determined that the respondent is the record owner of the property located at 117 Mohawk Lane in Altamont Springs in Seminole County as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Further recommend that the magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before August 12, 2021. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permits for the cited violations. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Do you want to remedy that date? Since we're in October?
Should be December. Sorry.
Got it.
Thank you.
So a 60-day, 60-day.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir, would you like to respond?
The first thing I just
I'm sorry. The first thing we need you to do is just state your name and your position, like if you are the property owner.
My name is Fong Nguyen. I just bought the property from the York on the end of July.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. What happened at the end of July? It's hard with the mask.
Yeah, I bought that property from the York.
You bought the property in July?
Yes.
July 2021?
Yes.
Hold right there for 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Were notices of the violation sent out to this property owner after July?
No, ma'am. I don't know. But it's just. Okay.
Okay, so are you with Yost Land Trust?
Yes.
Okay, let me just see this for a sec. Okay. I'm not, do you have, we don't have a copy of the warranty deed from 2019 showing who owns the property, right?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead and continue, but I may have questions about this because according to the property appraiser's website, there was a deed in 2019 that's showing as ownership, but I can't see that deed.
Yeah, I ran to all from that, and, we fit, and he asked me to sell that for me, and I bought that in July this year. And I saw the note on the door, and that's why we're here today.
Okay. Do you have a copy of your deed from when you purchased the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can I please see that, sir? You can come up. You can come up. You can bring it right to me if you want. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what I am looking at is a unrecorded but notarized deed from July 29th of 2021 between Yost Land Trust and a party that's blank. So let me pass this on to the clerk, and then I have a note about a homestead exemption, I think. Let me pass this to you. I'm going to make a copy of it. Okay. We need the clerk to make a copy for public records, and I'm going to give it back to you in just a minute. Thank you. So that deed is not showing as recorded in the public records, and it's not showing on the property appraiser's website.
Yeah, I tried to change the name, but when I went to the office, a Seminole office, and they asked me to hire a lawyer to do that.
I understand.
Yeah,
Who
but
did you buy the property from?
From the
From Yost?
yes.
But are you with Yost?
No.
Oh, you're not, okay. Well, we have someone here, well, we'll wait for the clerk. We can give it right back. Can we pass this back down? Okay. Sir, do you plan to bring the property into compliance?
I don't know. I got no idea what to do now.
Did you have anything else you wanted to tell us besides the ownership issues?
I'm not really, because I just bought that, and I saw the note. I just bring it here.
Okay.
And if you, I don't know what to do right now.
Okay. My thought, County, is he hasn't even gotten notice if he owns the property, which is not our fault because we followed the law and noticed the record property owner, which is Yost. But Yost isn't here.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have somebody here saying he owns the property with an unrecorded deed. Do you have an opinion as to how you want to proceed? Do you want to proceed against Yost, or do you want to look into this ownership issue and then proceed?
I think maybe looking into the ownership issue and then proceeding would be probably the best way to go.
I tend to agree with you. So do you want me to dismiss this or continue it? Do you want to start over, or?
Let's continue it,
Okay.
because we can always do a change of, when and if it ever gets recorded, we can always change it and put it in his name, and then we'll,
So if we do find out that he owns the property, if we make that determination, we will need to start over and notice it from the
Yes,
beginning.
ma'am.
If you determine that it is Yost, then we can go with the continuation date. For now, I'll continue it 60 days to December 9th. We'll continue this to December 9th, but in that time, if you need to cancel the hearing and restart, that's fine. So, sir, we are going to review Well, it will not be me. The county staff will review the ownership issues that you've brought up. You'll probably be hearing from them. You should contact them and figure out what you need to do on the property. We are continued until December 9th, and I would say communicate with the county in between now and then, because I'm not sure what will happen between now and then until we determine if you own the property.
So,
But you still have if you do own the property, you still have violations that you should work out with the county. If you can work them out before December 9th, you may not have to come back.
so I have to go to the county?
You have to talk to this gentleman over here about the violations on the property, not right now during the hearings, but subsequent to today.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay, because what the county is saying is that the structures in those pictures don't have permits, and they need permits. So it doesn't matter if you put them there or not. Now, if you own the property, you'll be responsible for getting those permits. Did you have anything you wanted to add before?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Fine.
So can I do the permits or for the?
You can apply for the permits. I believe you go inside the building right here.
Yes.
To the building division, and they can give you the documents you need. Is that correct?
They can give him the documents, but I don't believe he can apply for it till ownership is verified.
Right. But they can explain to him what he needs to provide,
Yes, ma'am.
right? I would go inside and talk to them about what you need to do, but you'd have to show ownership to be able to apply?
I have to show the ownership too?
Yes.
I go and give to the job?
I'm sorry?
What you mean? Do I need to add to the ownership before I get to the office?
I don't understand your question. Do you have to add to the ownership? So you'd need a lawyer to talk to about your ownership, but generally, when you have a deed to property, you record it in the official records, and then we can see it on the property appraiser's website. But you would need a lawyer probably to discuss those issues. I can't give you legal advice about that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am, you can have them back. Do I have them? This? Okay.
Let's try this again.
Okay. Next case is 2143 CESM, respondents Michael and Jennifer Sawyer.
So, slideshow. Bam. Right. It is. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Pending.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is case 2143 CESM, Mike and Jennifer Sawyer, 2145 Lakeview Avenue in Chiliota, Seminole County, violation charged, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, installed a roof over a manufactured mobile home. Case initial inspection was done 12/11/20 with a notice on the same day with a compliance date of 3/2/21. Of course, the executive order suspending the violation at that point in time, along with various follow-up visits, inspections as far as in person as well as on the computer, and they showed that the violations remain on the property. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website page that shows that the respondents are in fact the owners. This is a copy of the return receipt, the certified mail that they received it. Basically, they have a carport-type structure over top the total manufactured home. Go ahead. This is they have applied for the permit, and it's showing in the approved status right now. As a matter of fact, it's to a point where it's approved, ready to be picked up. When they walk out of here, if they want to walk over to the counter, they can get their permit issued, they'll be in compliance. But as it stands right now, they're still not in compliance, because they haven't picked up the permit yet.
But it's been issued?
No, that's what they have to go over there and get it issued. They can do that when we get done, they can walk right over there and get the permit issued, then they'll be in compliance.
Oh, okay.
But right now, they're not in compliance, they have applied for it.
Does that mean they have to pay for the permit?
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And sign all the paperwork and everything.
Okay.
This is Chapter 40, what they're in violation of. Based on the testimony in 2143 CESM, it's determined that the respondents are the record owners of property at 2145 Lakeview Avenue, Chiliota in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Just recommend you order the respondents to correct the violation on or before December 10th in order to correct the violation. They need to obtain the required permits for the cited violation. If the respondents do not comply, a fine of $50 be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Do you wish to respond?
I sure do. Hey, Kim and Tom, good to see you. Had a nice little chat on the phone a while back.
You got to state your name for the record.
Oh, I'm
even though
sorry,
we know
Michael
it.
Sawyer. This is my wife, Jennifer Sawyer.
Thank you.
All right, so first of all, we have a pole barn, and my understanding initially, and this is my ignorance, which is, I'm just going to state it, was that at least time past, there wasn't a need for a permit for a pole barn. So that's kind of where that started. And it was not a DIY project. I hired this out by a contractor who did the work. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And so then some of the things that led me to not getting the permit was horse barn, lean-tos, all kinds of stuff that gets over tops of well and stuff like that too. So maybe it's a size restriction. I was trying to look at the one, what the violation was, and it kind of flipped through it kind of quick. Like, I think it was like 3 slides back. Can you go back so I can take a look at it? I'm sorry.
Are
There
you
it was.
saying that this mobile home is the barn?
No, it's over. It doesn't touch the structure at all.
Right. No, it's
It completely clears the structure. The reason that was put on there is because we were having roofing problems, and by the kindness of our heart, instead of having the people leave, the renters that haven't been paying rent, they were just ejected by the deputies finally this Tuesday. We put that so they could stay dry in their home. We were having problems fixing the roof. So there's no plumbing to the pole barn. There's no electrical to the pole barn. It clears the thing by over 3 feet. And then we had, the reason this has been delayed is I was held up when I called you. You referred me to talk to Stacy Brooks. And Stacy Brooks says the setbacks weren't on the drawings. I brought all the drawings up and stuff once we knew. And she said, this is not right. And so trying to resolve this with Stacy, nothing was done. I said, they're on the drawings. So we kind of left it at that. So I finally get this magistrate to appear here before you today, Kim. And then I called, and they said, I think I called you first, and you told me the only thing holding up was the drainage was approved. I don't know, there was something approved.
zoning, yes.
So this was the last thing. So I called Ashley, which was her replacement, and Ashley said, I'll get back with you tomorrow. She got back with me the next day, and she said, there's no problem.
Okay, so it sounds like all you have to do is go pick up the
Well, we
permit.
do, now, so we came, so we've gone through this process here. So she came last week and tried to get it. What we've misplaced is the septic, health department.
Letter.
We've misplaced that. So what's the name of the lady you spoke to over
I
there?
thought that was Frances. I talked to Frances.
She said she would get a replacement
She would
copy.
give me the copy of it, and that was on Wednesday when I was up here, and I haven't heard back from her. I called her yesterday, and it's like, hey, I left a message, my filing system is poor, so I was hoping the county could get me that copy, because she's approved it. It's all approved. We just don't have that copy. And I tried to get the permit, and they told me I couldn't pay for it until I have that
septic
health
letter.
So she was here to pay
department.
for it last week.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. So
Okay, question for the county.
Yes, ma'am.
Does the county have the septic letter?
No, ma'am, it's the
Okay, it's a
Department of Health.
separate entity.
And they're separate entities, and we have nothing to do with them. They used to have a window next to us. I don't know if they still
that's where it
have
was. That's where I
But they-
spoke to her
but they-
originally.
I think they've relocated now, so.
Oh,
So
And that's,
you'll
I'm sorry.
have to get the letter from the Department
that's
of
what we're
Health.
trying to do.
Yeah,
We've
that's what
been
we're
trying to do.
I started on Wednesday, the 6th, and she told me I have her number, and I called her back, but I haven't heard back. And like
So
I
just
said-
to be clear, though, the Frances, I think you said was her name, she's with the Department of Health, not the
Yes.
county, right?
Yes,
Okay.
she is,
So you're
yes.
going to the right entity. It
Right.
sounds like you'll be able to come into compliance. The county is giving you 60 days until December 10th. So if you have everything by December 10th, you'll be in compliance and you won't need to come back. If you don't, we'll come back and have this conversation again.
Okay.
It's my suggestion.
And the pole barn is a violation, though?
Yes, because it does require a permit. It is a structure, and it does require a
Well,
permit.
it's classified in the thing as a roofer, but it doesn't
It's
touch the
still-
facility
Yeah, but
at
it's still
all.
a structure because
I'm
you
just
got
asking.
no, it's just like a carport. Same
Okay.
thing. It's a structure. Structure
Okay.
is defined as that which is built or constructed. So it does. And I understand you were trying to protect the home. That wasn't the issue. The issue just was they didn't have a permit, so.
I got you. Then I have one other question, too.
Mm-hmm.
So the building inspector comes out there and looks at it, how's he going to inspect the footers?
Well, he has one of two choices. He can either look at it and make a determination he's comfortable with it like it is, or he can require you to dig up so he can see what's there, that what's in the ground matches with what's on the reviewed plans. That's going to be something you have to work out with him. But once you get the permit issued, you have 180 days to get your first inspection. Every time you get another inspection, you get more time to continue. So
So once again, I believe, if I looked
Yep.
at the blueprints correctly, from the engineer drawings that we provided, the footers have rebar in them. How are they going to determine that? Or is there a way to
That's-
determine that?
yeah, you can
What's-
have
what
someone,
is-
an engineering firm, come out and do either some type of magnetic test to verify it's there, or they can do an x-ray, or you can have it certified by an engineer. They can go out and do their thing. How they certify it, that's between, I mean, seriously.
No, we want to be compliant, so we're not here again. We're
Right, no, I
trying
understand.
to, and I'm trying to ask the right
Once you-
questions at the right time is all.
Once you get the permit issued, you won't be coming back here again.
Okay.
Because unless you do something else without a permit, I don't think
Okay.
you will. But
I hope not.
I understand. But, no, but then you have 180 days to start, okay? You do, if you're having difficulty, if you get one inspection, you get an extra 180 days from the
Okay,
time of
well,
that inspection
we
on.
want to resolve
And you-
this, so, yeah.
I understand. But once the permit's issued, this violation goes away. And then
Okay.
you have time to work within the bounds of trying to figure it out. If worse comes to worse, you can talk to the chief building inspector to see what avenue he may have. He can come out and look at it and take a look at it, or the assistant chief, and kind of make a decision that way and go from there.
Okay, so there'll be a directive telling me who I need to contact, what inspector, whom inspector.
No,
Sounds-
you're going to
sound
just
like
have a list
multiple.
of inspections.
Okay.
When you call the inspection, and the morning of the inspection, you can go online, I believe after 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and you can see who your inspector is and have his name and number, or her name and number, and you can call them before they actually get on site and explain your quandary with them so they know what they're looking for. It would probably be wise also for you to meet him out there, and you can make a
That's
time.
fine.
He can give you typically a 2-hour window
Okay.
when he can be there. And so that way, that's the best way to do it. The big thing is to get this off your neck, is to get, finding the septic letter and getting the permit issued, then you're no longer in violation.
Okay.
Then you have 180 days to move forward.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions on how to expedite the septic letter? Since, I mean, how do we do that? I mean, we're kind of at a loss because what do we do next? We've done that.
I don't. I just would keep following up with the Department of Health until they give it to you.
Will that be-
I don't know if you can go there in person. That always seems to speed things up. I don't know where it is. Is it local?
Well, it was,
I'm not even sure where the
it was
house
next
is.
door. I originally did it, and the lady was very helpful. And like, you went next door, right? It's your next, when the
Yeah, but I had to
pasture.
use the
Used to be the one
phone.
right next to us,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was just a phone, though.
You
I
can
had to-
call them and ask them where they're at, and then go over and try to pick it up while you wait.
Okay.
That's what I'd do.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
good luck.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we won't see you back on December 9th.
I hope not.
But staff's recommended order is issued. You'll get a copy in the mail.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next case is number 2144, CESM, respondent Mr. Brent Wagner. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, I'm sorry. This is case 2144 CESM, Brent A. Wagner, 108 Tangerine Drive, Sanford, Seminole County, Florida. Violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, unpermitted shed installation. The initial inspection was done November 16th of '20 with the notice at that time with compliance date of 3/2 of '21 with the executive order kicking in, and then follow-up inspections 8/2/21, 10/13/21, other inspections on the computer looking to see the permit status. Currently, the violation remains on the property. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website page showing that the respondent is the property owner. This is a copy of the certified return receipt card. This is an aerial view of the property, and you see the shed in the left-hand corner of the back of the property, taken 11/16 of '20. This is photographs that I believe that I took, yes, I took, from the street, and you see the shed sticking up over the fence. There is a permit for the shed, as you can, the top one is in plan check. I believe it's awaiting comments or responses to comments on the installation.
Was that submitted August 31st?
Yes, ma'am.
So they submitted their shed permit for this violation on August 31st? Just to
Yes.
be- Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
This is a copy of the residential permit application for the shed. This is a copy of Chapter 40, which is what they're in violation of. My recommendation is that, based on the testimony and evidence presented in Case 2144 CESM, it's determined that the respondent is the record owner of the property located at 108 Tangerine Drive in Seminole County, as determined by property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. I further recommend that the magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before December the 10th, 2021. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permit for the cited violation. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Can we just go back to this picture real quick with the home? Because I don't see a picture of the shed, and I'm trying to see where, is it
The
that
top, the
small
little roof
white?
on top of the fence, the little triangle on top of the
Okay.
fence, that's the top of it. I
That's
couldn't
the-
see the whole thing because the gate was shut.
Understood, but I just wanted to see
Yes,
what we
ma'am.
were talking about. Thank you.
welcome.
Does the respondent wish to respond?
Yes, this is Nicole Wagner and also Brent Wagner. We do have a permit for the shed. We did file that on, I believe it was August 31st of this year. We had to go through the site planning and all that paperwork, so that was what was taking some time. We are still currently awaiting the previous couple, the environmental septic tank letter, but we've submitted all that. They need our email, so after this, we're going to go try to get that permit as well, since you guys are separate. We did not do this shed. It was purchased with the property in 2008. And I know I've heard it's now you inherit the problem, I guess, now that you're the property owner. So we are trying to resolve the issue. I do have kind of a interesting point to make. When my husband bought this property, it was through the Seminole County SHIP program, first-time home buyer. So not only did we have to pass regular inspection, we had to pass very stringent inspections for the county. So we were very surprised to get this violation because of that additional kind of complexity to it, where we had to go through even more inspections with the county for that first-time home buyer. So we had no idea this was unpermitted. So that's why we've been a little confused by why we're kind of in trouble for it, but we are trying to resolve it. So we do have the permit issued. We are going to the variance hearing in December. I believe it's on the 6th. So that's the only next hurdle we have to get through is the setbacks from the back and the side, because we're applying for the variance after the fact. So that's where we're at. So we have to go to the December 6th to, I guess, present our case as to why we want to be granted the variance, because now we have an issue, I guess, of possibly having to move it. So.
Understand?
Okay, so if they're, I'm sorry, were you going to say?
I was just going to clarify a couple of things. The permit's not issued yet. You have an application in the system, and typically with SHIP, when they go and do the inspections, they're not looking for unpermitted construction because it doesn't fall under their jurisdiction. It falls under ours in the building division. So they may not have even, they're looking to shed and the home, and like you said, didn't even occur because they don't enforce that. We do. So that's possibly why. I just wanted to try to clarify some of the confusion a little bit because they're different from us. We don't do those inspections.
Can you clarify who's different? I'm sorry, I didn't catch the
I
beginning.
think the ship.
The ship inspectors.
It's still through Seminole County, though.
Right,
It's
it
a Seminole
is,
County.
but they're not part of the building division, is what I'm saying. We do the permitting and the code enforcement for the unpermitted construction. SHIP is a different division of the county. It has nothing to do with us. They're looking at it from livability and meeting their programs. We're looking at it for permits as required by the county code. Two different sets of codes and two different things that we're looking at.
I might have to disagree. Are you 100% confident in that? Because I do know we had inspections we had to pass for the property.
But I
To
don't
get the down payment approved, we had to do the septic, it was roof, everything. So I'm just surprised Seminole County didn't catch that there was a shed that large that wasn't permitted.
Like I said, they don't do unpermitted construction violations. The building division does. We don't do SHIP inspections, as far as I know. That's a different division through the SHIP program. So, and that's probably where the disconnect is, why I was trying to explain why the concern, and I understand your concern.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a big shock and surprise to you. You thought everything was one big package. I
Yeah, because that was
understand.
a selling feature on the home,
Yes.
because we have a carport. So the shed is our garage with our yard equipment.
Understand.
You know, so
Yes.
that's why we are trying to resolve it. Nobody's been able to really answer my question as to why, that happened, because you go through the title company, all that's supposed to be verified, that there's nothing outstanding on that property. And so I'm just very surprised it didn't get caught with, having a permit, because, we've had 2 inspectors come out when we purchased the property. It's part of the survey from 2008, so it was there when we purchased it. So now we have this variance issue on our hands that's costing quite a bit of money.
Have you been sworn, have you?
Seems that the county wants to respond to that.
Could I have the building official would like to address her concerns, but he's not been sworn in.
Yep.
Could you?
Let's swear him in.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes, I do. Hi, ma'am. You said you purchased your property when, in 2008?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you that
You said you purchased your
well.
property in 2008?
Yes, it was
Hi,
December.
Back in '08, I don't believe they had passed the laws yet that required the realtors to put a disclosure on the contract. And that was really in the infancy of the process that has evolved through the unpermitted construction and title company searching. So they may not have done a search back then in '08 for those unpermitted items on your property. Since then, they all do that because there have been laws that have been enacted since they purchased that property. That's probably the explanation why that wasn't caught back then.
Okay, because the paperwork was signed in 2009 on January for the purchase of the home. So
Understood.
would it be grandfathered in perhaps if there's?
No, ma'am. That's always required a permit by the Florida Building Code.
Okay.
And it's the obligation of the owner to get the permit. Okay?
Okay.
All
So
right.
the way a grandfathering generally works is if the code didn't have the requirement at the time you bought it, let's say you bought it in 2008, if there was no code requirement that a shed have a permit back then, and the shed was put in, you could potentially be a legal non-conforming use or a grandfather. But since the code, I think he's saying, I'm just kind of translating.
Yes, please, thank you.
Is since the code required permits back then, and they didn't, not you, but whoever put the shed there didn't get one, it's not any grandfathered or legal non-conforming use. So, but what I think here is, if they've got a Board of Adjustment hearing on December 6th, I don't think it's realistic for them to come into compliance on the 10th, because they're going to have to submit that additional information to
Yes.
the building department. So I just want to give them a little more time, maybe another 30 days. Do you think that's reasonable?
I'm fine with that, yes.
Okay.
Are you able to maybe extend it to 60, just because we have to do an inspection?
It's actually going to be 90.
90,
So it's
okay.
90 from today. They had recommended 60, and I'm adding 30 to that.
Thank you.
So you will be required to come into compliance by January, I don't have that date, because my calendar ends in December. Oh. Yes, there is. It will be by January 12th of 2022. okay?
Okay.
So,
So we have the permit now, but I guess it's still reflecting in our system that we're in violation because it's not closed due to the variance,
do
right?
you have applied for the permit, but you don't
Yes.
have the permit yet? Once you,
Okay.
if you get the variance approved,
Okay.
and you get that information to the building division, then they will look at it, and they will figure out if they can issue the permit. If you don't get the variance, you might have to either remove the structure or move the structure.
If they can relocate it, yes, depending upon the size of the lot and what the setback requirements might be. That's planning development, but yes, I mean, there are options that you can explore, but obviously you're wanting to keep it where it is.
Yeah, because the septic is right there. We have that power line because it's, an older neighborhood of
And
Seminole
these are the
County.
issues that you tell the BOA.
Yes.
Right.
And hopefully then they grant the variance.
Okay.
If not, you could come back and we'll talk about it again. But I will issue staff's recommended order, except instead of December 10th, we will give respondents until January 12th of 2022 to come into compliance. Thank you so much. Okay, next case is 2145 CESM. Respondents, Mr. Kevin Lane and Ms. Alexandra Lopez. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. This is case 2145 CESM, Kevin and Alexandra Lopez, 1567 Thornhill Circle, Oviedo, Seminole County, Florida, violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, installed a shed. Initial inspection was done November the 6th of 2020 with several notices to the respondent with a compliance date and an extension, and then the extension because of the executive order. Follow-up site visits, 8/2 of 21, 10/13 of 21, as well as by a computer, 1/21, 21, 9/1/21, and 10/14 of 21. The violation remains on the property. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website page showing that the respondent is in fact the property owner. This is a copy of the certified return receipt. And right above the fence, you can see the top of the shed. And another view of it. This is a copy of our Navaline system, our permitting system, and you can see there's no permit has been applied for yet for the shed or issued. This is a copy of Chapter 40, which is what they're in violation of. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2145 CESM, it is determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 1567 Thornhill Circle in Oviedo in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. I further recommend that the magistrate order the respondents to correct a violation on or before December 10th, 2021. In order to correct a violation, the respondents shall obtain the required permits for the cited violations. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. A little extra note, I had spoken with the respondent. He was having difficulty. I think he might still be finding someone. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he bought it used and having to get it certified to make it meet the requirements. And he's having some difficulty there. This concludes my presentation.
Okay, and then the permit pending in 2021, R100, what's that for?
R100 is a re-roof, I believe.
Okay, thank you. Sir, would you like to respond?
Yeah, it's Kevin Lane. Yeah, I know we did have a conversation. It wasn't that exact situation. The shed actually was built in 2006, as best as I can find from the Google historical views. We bought the house in 2019. I understand it all becomes my responsibility. We had a similar situation as the Wagners, it sounds like. We were going through the process. We had to get the utility easement vacated. Basically, I was taking it step by step. That wasn't going to cost me money before I started filling out the stuff that cost me money in case it wouldn't happen. So we got the utility easement vacated, and then the next part was because the shed company that manufactured it in '06 is out of business, so I can't get the plans for it. So I've been trying to find an engineer to do it, but more or less at the end of the day, with 2 variance hearings and the permits for those, it's going to cost me $2 to $3 grand to keep the shed. So I have my permit application to demolish it. I'm just going to take it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you submit that?
No, I'm heading over there after this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it for the variance where of what I understand, someone could argue against me and I could lose that anyway, so if someone reported it, I'm not going to, whatever. They don't want it there anymore, apparently.
Okay, well, in that case, I think I'm going to issue staff's recommended order, but all that means is, once you demolish it, as long as it's in compliance by December 10th, which could include getting the permit or demolishing it, you won't be in violation, so there won't be any fines issued. So I'll go ahead and issue staff's recommended order. Thank you, sir.
And just, I guess to clarify, I do need to turn in this permit to demolish it, even though it's
Yes.
just existing there?
Yes, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That way it clears up that the violation is now clear because you pulled a permit to remove it. Once the permit's issued to remove it, then we'll close the case based on the permit being issued. Then you have 180 days to get rid of it.
Got you, okay, I guess that's, so I do have to wait until that permit's fully approved to demo it. Like, if I was gonna get
you're
a
go-
dumpster out there and take it down myself, I need to wait till this is done?
Until the permit's issued, but typically the demolition permit, you might be able to walk away with the permit as soon as you're down at the counter because it's a demolition permit. There's no
Fantastic.
plans involved. It shouldn't be an issue, I wouldn't think.
Okay, great.
And once he has the permit, he's in compliance?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not, I misspoke. It's not when it's demolished, it's when you actually get the permit. So you may walk out of here with the permit and be in compliance today.
Okay, then, so how long do I have to demolish it then?
Then he said 180 days.
That'd be wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. The next case is 2146 CESM, respondents Mr. Christopher and Ms. Miriam Brem. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tom Heller with the Building Division. This is case 2146 CESM, Christopher and Miriam Bren, 108 Brown Drive, Sanford. Violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, installed a shed-type structure. Case summary, initial inspection was done 12/2 of 20 with the notice issued the same day. Compliance date and extension 3/2 of 21. And of course, the executive order gave them no more time, follow-up site inspections 3 times, and then numerous follow-up inspections via computer showing that the violation remains on the property, had not obtained a permit yet. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website showing that they are in fact the property owners. This is a copy of the posting. We posted the property when the certified didn't get delivered. The left-hand structure is the raised structure. Basically, it's a shed. I'm guessing it's a child's playhouse. It's up off the ground about 3 or 4 feet, but it does require a permit. There's another closer-up picture of it. He does have an application in the system, and there are some corrections that need to be made, some more information that he needs to submit. It's in plan review, but he's making headway. So once he gets the corrections addressed with the plan review staff, then it will move forward to the next step, which is updating, and eventually we'll wind up getting a permit, and then he'll be in compliance. This is a copy of the application. This is a copy of Chapter 40, which is the code that he's in violation of. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2146 CESM, it is determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 108 Brown Drive, Sanford, in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's record, in possession and control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. I further recommend that the magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before December 10th, 2021. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permit for the cited violation. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Does the respondent wish to respond?
Yes, this is Chris Brem, owner of the property. Yes, I agree with everything. That's a good summary of what we've gone through, trying to get all the paperwork together. And yes, the only thing that I know of that we still have to do is move some of the anchors for the straps that go over the roof and get pictures and measurements of that to the county. And well, I don't know after that if there's going to be any further need for anything else, but that's the current thing we're working on to get that done. So
Okay, thank you. Then I'll go ahead and issue staff's recommended order, so you'll have until December 10th, 2021 to come into compliance.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Okay, the next case is a lien hearing, 19-93 CESM. Respondents Franklin and Hungria Sabalos.
My name is Hungría Ceballos.
Thank you. He'll go, and then you'll go next. They have the burden, so they go first. Approve.
Good afternoon, Tom Helly with the Seminole County Building Division. This is case 1993 CESM, Franklin and Hungria Sabalos, 265 Dublin Drive, Lake Mary, Florida. Violation, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, constructed a shed in the backyard without the required permits. The case was originally heard by the special magistrate on August the 8th of 2019, and an order was issued giving the respondents a compliance date of November 14th, 2019. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on November 18, 2019. On February 13, 2020, an order was issued extending the compliance date to April 8, 2020, and waiving any accrued fines. Recommendation based on the findings of fact issued on August 8, 2019, the special magistrate issue an order imposing a lien in the amount of $11,300 for 226 days of noncompliance from March 3, 2021 through and including October 14, 2021, and the fine shall continue to accrue at $50 per day for each day the violation continues or is repeated after October 14th of 2021. We did look into the computer, and permit 18-12669, which was submitted for the permit, was voided due to inactivity after rejection by zoning for not meeting the setbacks. I don't know if they were going to try to go for a variance or what, but they didn't meet the setbacks, so zoning could not approve it.
When was that?
I don't have the date. Okay. The violation remains, okay. No permit application. I don't have the date of the rejection.
Okay.
But they did apply for a permit, but had some setback problems apparently, and did not go for a variance, and so, but the shed remains.
Okay.
This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Do you wish to respond?
Yes, Franklin Ceballos, my wife, Rose Ceballos. Just before COVID came in, I came to the hearing, and they have closed the office over here. So it was postponed altogether. And this is kind of like the first time we have an opportunity, a chance to overlook at this. I'm honestly tired already. I don't want to fight this anymore, because I'm going to let the county win on this one. Because I explained it to them that that shed was built with the state permit, because it's a shed that I hired a contractor to install it, and they have a permit number for the state of Florida, and I have the right to put that shed in there. And apparently I didn't know that at that point. That become my responsibility, that the state will give an approval number and the county will not. I was on the impression that the state oversees the county, but I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how was that gonna be played. Anyway, I'm tired of doing this already. I'm gonna I'm gonna disassemble the shed. I just wanted the county to know that this is my way of living. This is how I make my living. I put my tools in that shed. Mm-hmm. And by not having a shed, you're basically putting me on employee. So I never break a law in my whole life. I try to be the citizen that it needs to be, honorable. And I haven't got an opportunity to get a correction on such a shed that was installed with a state code approval number. And my contractor didn't pull a permit on the county because, I don't know, I thought he thought it wasn't necessary at that point. That shed was there before. He demoed one that was there. I've been living in the house for 33 years, and when I moved in the house, there was a shed there already. So what I did was a replacement, and I guess I don't know what to say about that, other than I'm going to demo my shed or disassemble it or do whatever you want. But I pay a lot of money for that shed. That's it. That's what I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Does he need a demolition permit?
Is there electrical in the shed?
No.
Then if he's just going to disassemble it and haul it off, he would not need a permit unless there was electrical or plumbing in it. But if it's just a shed with nothing in it, he would just need to.
Sir, when do you plan to take it away? Because I really don't want to put a lien on your property if you're going to be taking it down, tomorrow.
Well, I said that I need at least 3 months to get it because, first of all, I'm not doing well in my health, and I'm going to need some time to recuperate myself and then take that shed down. So if I can get 4 months, I would take it down in 4 months and get it out of the way.
Did you say 4 months
Yes.
to take down a shed?
Yes.
Can I say something? Hi.
Well,
Well, my husband has been sick, and I know it doesn't have nothing to do with the shed, but he had the COVID, and so did my daughter. And we also went through my other daughter with an organ transplant. So we've been really overwhelmed. And he's just getting back on his feet, and we need time to be able to remove the shed. And everything in it, his tools, everything. So if we could give us that time, I appreciate it.
Understood. Let me see what the county's position is with your request.
I would not have a problem giving them more time to remove the shed. And I can authorize 2 months. That's the most I can authorize. The most, then they would have to go to the building official, see if it'll let it be there longer than that due to the
Okay.
health issues. But
Then, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and issue a time extension for 60 days. If you need more than 60 days, go to the building official, and if he gives you that permission, we can extend it further. But for today, I'm going to
But
order...
if I go and get a permit to demo it, I get 180 days.
that's correct.
So if you would like to go that
And
route,
you
that's
could-
another option.
You can do that. You can walk over and get a demolition permit, fill out all the paperwork while you're here. And because that's a demolition permit for a shed without electric is over the counter. You can walk away with your permit and be in compliance as soon as that permit's issued.
Okay.
So if you want to do it that way, you can do that. That's an option.
Okay, can I get 3 weeks to get the permit? I don't have any money. I
understand.
haven't been working.
Yes, you have
Yes,
60 days. In those 60 days, you can either go get the permit, or you can remove the shed, or you can come back and ask for more time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next case is 2124 CESM, respondents Shane and Michelle Ryder.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is case 2107 CESM, Kimberly, whoops, excuse me, wrong one. 2124 CESM, Shane and T. and Michelle D. Ryder. The case was originally heard by the magistrate on August 12th. An order is issued giving the respondents a compliant date of October 14th. The respondents are requesting additional time to comply. Mr. Ryder does, in fact, have all of his 4 permits in the system, going through the system. I believe there's still some corrections that they have to make. I know he's resubmitted at least once on a couple, I don't know if they're all of them, but at least once for, if not all of them, 1 or 2 of them, and they have to be re-reviewed. So he is trying to come into compliance. And once these 4 permits are issued, he will be in compliance.
Okay.
That concludes my presentation.
Did you give me a time that?
Oh, no, I wouldn't have a problem with 2 months.
Okay.
That's our standard.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, would you like to respond and state your name for the record?
My name's Shane Ryder. I'm fine with 2 months. Last time we were here, I got 4 sets of plans in. I'm working on 4 different permits because unlike, I see these people coming in and they have these tiny little sheds and they're having problems. I got a 5,000 square foot block building, a 4,000 square foot block building, a 2,300 square foot block building, and then a 1,900 square foot pool enclosure. You can imagine what I'm going through and they can't get a shed done, you know? So I've given Mr. Walt Williams corrections once, twice. I'm on my 3rd set. He's asking for lentils, and they're on the paperwork, so I have to sit down, obviously, with somebody and say, they're right here. And so that's those 2, and then the other 2, I haven't got any corrections back on those yet. But I'm working as fast as I can get the stuff back.
Okay, well,
So-
I'm more than happy to give you the time you all have agreed to, which is
Okay.
60 days. So thank you for all of your efforts.
Perfect.
Okay?
Before you leave, may I ask, have you talked recently with Walt since the last time, or have you? are you
I
still
just got
working?
corrections back yesterday for the first 2 that I did, I believe it's the pool house and the garage. He sent me those corrections, I gave those back. He sent me 2 more corrections back with them, again, with the lentils on there, and that's
Okay.
just one of them, and I mean, it's on the cut sheet, it's right there. But I'll have to speak with him again, and
Okay.
hopefully those 2 I can pick up, and then I'm still waiting on the
Gotcha.
2 bigger ones to get.
Yes, sir.
So,
Gotcha.
Thank you, sir.
I'm learning a lot, but we'll see what happens.
Here's the silver lining.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, the last case I have with a respondent present is 2133 CESM, respondent Mr. Michael Siberio. Good afternoon, sir.
We've been through a lot.
If you all have agreed to a time extension, let me know.
No,
No, we have
Okay.
not. That's what he's here for. And
Okay.
so, I know
I
he's
spoke with
some
him
other
before,
things he's
but-
wanting to discuss, but that's okay.
Okay,
We'll take it one day at a time. I mean,
got it.
one paper at a time, excuse me.
go ahead.
Oh,
Thank you.
go ahead.
well,
He's
I
wanting-
was just
I
asking
want
for an
time.
extension. I mean.
How
based on-
much?
Listen, I got a double jeopardy case over here.
Okay.
Because I got the board, they gave me into the 22nd of November.
Board, Code Enforcement Board, or Board of Adjustment?
I don't know, because when I came last time, I thought it was to talk to you, for the same thing.
Okay, Code
But the-
Enforcement Board.
Yes,
Is that what, do you have, the
sheriff.
sheriff's office has the case with you?
yes.
Okay, so the sheriff's office has another case with them, that's not unpermitted construction, it's a separate case. They go to CEB versus coming to here.
Thank you. Got
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
But then it's like a double jeopardy, because now, it's like, if I comply with you, then I have to comply with them. How, it's like.
It sounds like 2 different violations. We're just dealing with no permit on one structure here.
May I ask him a question?
Yeah.
What's the nature of the sheriff's office complaint? Is it a zoning issue?
They say that I couldn't build no building there, and
The accessory
A5,
structure
A10.
because your house isn't there.
Huh?
The accessory structure
Yes.
because your house isn't built yet.
But then like I
Okay.
said,
Yeah.
this is the problem, like I said, I gave them proof by law, not by codes or law, and they don't follow the law. I gave it to all of them about building in an A5 property, and last time I was over here, I found out by the county that you don't need an exemption to have a farm. You can have a farm without the exemption.
Do you
okay?
have a farm?
No, at that time when I built it, I had a farm for special needs children, for autistic kids, because my daughter was autistic. And I had a little farm there with horses and goats and rabbits and everything. That was 8 years ago, okay? And under my exception, well, under the law, no exception, because I found out the law from the Attorney General, I found out that I could build it there. I had a well there, that was years ago, that was built in 1943. I found out that well was on because the pump, I wanted to rebuild it, And they said, that pump is from 1943. You know, I mean, we can't rebuild this. The electricity was connected there, the pole for electricity for the pump, based on the agriculture part for the well.
Right.
And I brought that to here last time for you. I just want an extension so I could, you know, give me time. I already borrowed an RV. Now I found out that I have to get a permit for the RV, and I keep spending my little money I have to build my house. So,
So, just for the record, you were not found in violation yet. This is a violation hearing where he is asking for more time, right?
This is a violation, yes, he's waiting for more time.
Okay. So we never had a finding of violation
No, I
yet.
think we have a findings of fact.
We did?
We
Okay.
do.
well, you gave me yes
Let me
into the
just
14.
look then. So the case was, for the record, the case was heard by me on August 12th,
Yes.
and an order was issued giving the respondent, finding the property in violation, and giving the respondents a compliance date of today.
Up to there, yes.
So
today.
now you're asking for an extension of the compliance date. I just wanted to make that clear. It was
Yes.
confusing to me.
May I
Okay.
clarify a couple things? May I approach you
Yes.
and the respondent?
Yes, sir.
I can't see this.
Thank you. But we're not dealing with whether there's a violation today. It's already been found in
Right,
violation.
but I think his contention is and has been that the property is an A5 zoning, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Or A5 zoning, which is nothing more, it's a zoning classification.
understand.
It's not, he's trying to say that he's a working farm and he's
No, it
allowed
was,
to build
it was.
without it, but he's not a
Understood.
working farm. That's
He's
what
already
this
been found
document
in
says.
violation, though, so this issue...
Yes, we found the violation. He's wanting more time. I had no problem giving him more time. He has started building on his house.
Good,
He's got
right?
the slab down. I believe he's going up with the blocks
blocks, I
that are
got the
pretty
blocks
close.
there,
So
but-
he is making headway on the home.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say his home was finished. Would he be in compliance then, or does he still need permits?
He still needs a permit for
Right.
that structure.
Okay, but he can't get the permit until the house is there. Is that
Well, I
right?
think that's a zoning issue because they have to have a main structure before they can have the accessory structure. The shed is the accessory structure, but by these statutes, he doesn't classify as a working farm by the state statutes and the
Understood.
building code, so he's kind of in a quandary.
I understand the farm
Yes, ma'am.
issue, but what I'm saying is, he can't get a permit right now, even if he tried, because
Correct.
zoning is not going to give a permit for an accessory use without a principal use on the property, and the principal use on the property is under construction.
Correct.
That's
As
all I wanted to clarify.
Yes, as I understand, that's the yes.
Okay, thank you, that's what I was
Yes,
Well,
trying.
I could get a permit because I came here and I got the papers for a permit to build another shed while I'm building the house. And they clarified to me here that I can make a shed. And I have the blueprints to get the permit for a new shed.
Okay, good.
So I could demolish this one.
That is up to you,
Okay.
sir. That is up to you. How much more time are you asking for?
They gave me into the 22nd of November, so, you know, I mean, well, I'm gonna have to ask for them to give me another extension, you know, at least into Christmas, you know, after Christmas,
Okay,
to the 1st of January.
so you need,
But I don't know how I will ask, unless I get the demolition permit, will it be okay for the code enforcement for, how you call it, for this?
You need to talk to the sheriff's office about the officer,
sheriff's
the code
office?
officer that's dealing with you on the...
Now they're
on
gonna
that
tell
one.
me that I'm gonna pay $100 a day.
no, so for this
After the
case...
22nd.
For this case, I can give you an additional 60 days to come into compliance, if you think that's good, and then to come into compliance, you know your options. Get a
Yeah.
permit or demolish it. Or if you want
Correct.
to, you know.
Yes.
And so then, can I ask the clerk? She was here.
You
How
can ask
I-
her, but she can't answer anything about the code enforcement board right now.
Oh, no, I just wanted to see how could I get in touch with them.
Oh, yes, you can ask that. In contact
Because last time I
info?
left you a letter, that's how you call me, and I appreciate, you know, that you call me.
You can just call my office, and I can give you the code officer's name and number.
Okay,
Okay.
so after we finish with our hearings, you can call her office and get that information, sir. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grant your extension request for 60 days. You will have until December 10th.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
good
Nice day.
afternoon. Okay. Are there any other respondents in the room? No. We have a couple of cases without a respondent present, so we will go through those now. The first one is 1974 CESM, respondents Mr. Kalafa and Ms. Mardini.
Okay. This is a lien case, Tom Haley with the Building Division. This is a case set in 1974 CESM. The case was originally heard by the Special Magistrate on July 11th of 2019. An order was issued giving the respondents a compliance date of November 13th, 2019. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on November the 18th of 2019. On February 13th, 2020, an order was issued extending the compliance date to March 12, 2020, and waiving all accrued fines. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on March 13th of 2020. On June 11th, 2021, an order was issued extending the compliance date to August 12, 2021, and waiving all accrued fines. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on September 1st, 2021. Recommendation is based on the findings and facts issued on May 13, 2020. The Special Magistrate issued an order imposing a lien in the amount of $150 for 92 days of noncompliance from August 13, 2021 through and including October 14, 2021, and the fine shall continue to accrue at $50 per day for each day the violation continues. Orders repeated after October 14, 2021. This concludes my presentation.
Okay, so I will go ahead and impose the lien, okay? So ordered.
Okay.
Next case is 2008 CESM, respondent Mr. Munessa.
Okay, this 2008 CESM, this case was originally heard by the Special Magistrate on January the 9th of 2020. An order was issued continuing the hearing to February 13th of 2020. On February 13th of 2020, an order was issued giving the respondent a compliance date of April 8th, 2020. An affidavit of noncompliance was issued by the inspector after reinspection on June 12th, 2020. An affidavit was issued by the inspector on October 13th of 2021. Recommendation based on the order of violation and noncompliance issued on February 13, 2020, the Special Magistrate issued an order reducing the fine to the administrative cost totaling $588.12 and require these fines to be paid within 30 days or the fine will revert to the original amount of $11,200 and will constitute a lien on the property. That concludes my presentation.
So ordered. The next case is 2107 CESM, respondent Kimberly Crow, the representative of the estate of Frenchie Sanders.
Okay. This case was originally heard by the Special Magistrate on May 13th, 2021, and an order was issued giving the respondents a compliance date of July 14th, 2021. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on July 22nd, 2021. Recommendations based on the findings and fact that issued on May 13th, 2021, Special Magistrate issued an order imposing a lien in the amount of $4,600 for 92 days of noncompliance from July 15th, 2021 through and including October 14th, 2021, and the fine shall continue to accrue at $50 per day for each day the violation continues or is repeated after October 14th, 2021. That concludes my presentation.
So ordered. Thank you. And I think that was our last case. So at this point, we will approve the minutes of August 12th, 2021, and confirm the date of our next meeting is November 4th, 2021, and we are adjourned.